Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video on the Audi A1. Now unfortunately in the last video we never had the bonnet, the wings, the bumper back from the paint shop, but it turned out actually just the next day after we finished the video he gave us that call and said, Rob, your bits are ready, come over and grab them. So Chris has got the bonnet hinges there and a little bracket for the wing, and then in here resting in the container we've got the bonnet all painted and a pair of wings, and of course the front bumper up there as well, and the toe and eye caps and washer jet covers Chris has also got there in that box. So this morning we're going to concentrate on actually get these bits fitted, get this car gapped up, and then finally get it off that frame machine and get a little bit of bodywork done on that leg. Let's crack straight on with it. Guys, I helped Chris sling the bonnet and the hinges on. Obviously, it is a little bit awkward because it's up quite high on that jig. Chris, sorry, I'm going to ask you to do that again.
Yes. Ready?
Yep. Beautiful. So I helped him lift them on, and then I've just been out picking up some supplies for about 3 hours, and he has lined all of it up, and it is that bonnet is insurance approved. It's certainly a lot better than the Q5 one. Even though that was insurance approved, it was alloy and it was quite bowy, wasn't it? But that is absolutely bang on. And Chris said, we want to get it to this point, Rob. We want to get the bonnet on, want to get the wings on, because he needs to do this bit of body work, and he wanted to make sure this was 100% before we moved on with it. So it is at that point now, ready to do the body work. But I know I haven't chucked a mic on you, and in the last video I got a lot of telling off because your battery died in your mic.
Yeah, I was a bit louder.
Are you going to do the body work on the jig, or are you going to do it on the ramp?
Yeah, we probably end up moving the jig out of the way, I think, but
because it's a bit higher up.
Time's getting on today, and I wanted to try and get this in primer. I'm probably going to leave the jig where it is for the minute.
Yeah.
And just get that D8 off and touch it up a little bit and get some primer on it, get it masked up and primed.
All right, mate, we'll let you crack on. So just before I do step out there, probably worth mentioning, first time we've ever done it, and it was purely just for a time thing, really. We had this bonnet, front wings and front bumper all painted off the vehicle. I gave him an old wing and took it over there for a paint match. But unfortunately, I can't pan round, Chris, because that barn finds there and I don't know if the video's gone out. Sorry. Look, it was a chance. We knew it was a chance. But we noticed there was a couple of chips in the door. But as you can see there, I mean, it's probably don't show that bad on camera. It is going to need a blend into the door and also into the A-post. So it's not the end of the world, is it? They're done now, so it is just a case of taking it for a blend. But it was always going to be a chance, wasn't it? It definitely was going to be a chance, but it didn't pay off this time. It may do next time. Let's crack on. Chris really did crack on there while I was down the beach. You like that one, mate, don't you? Little bit of filler in here, and like Chris just said, this is not actually serving any purpose apart from the aesthetics of it, really. It is to make it look as original as possible and get rid of the grinding marks. So you can see all of that is back to normal, ready for a bit of primer, then some sealer back on its original factory marks, and then a bit of paint, and be ready to come off the jig, mate. Yeah. I am just popping to Canvey Island to actually pick up some fencing. So Chris is going to continue with this. I've got him everything he needs to crack on and get that completely done. And hopefully, yeah, get it off the jig and just move on with it. Start piecing it all back together. So as promised in the first video, I would run a car vertical check in the last video because this car was showing as unrecorded in the first one. So mileage okay, theft okay, accidents clearly highlighted there in amber. Finance okay, that's all green. And scrolling straight down to the accident damage, you can clearly see, even when they did update the records, they put in the date that it was written off. So 11th 2022 are only 5 months old. Written off, category S, vehicle can be repaired following structural damage has been repaired and the vehicle is then roadworthy. It can be put back on the road. Of course, this check was performed in all of these countries down below, and you can always benefit from a 10% discount off our check by using the link in the description or the code up on screen now. Down the bottom, you've got your 9 helpful tips and tricks, and of course all the specs and equipment of your vehicle. Once again, I want to thank Car Vertical for the continued support on the channel. Guys, let's get on with the vehicle. I'd like to say I was surprised when I got back, guys, but I knew Chris would have nailed this. Look, have you got a torch there, mate? Absolutely bang on, looks like factory, that seam sealer. You just nail it every time. I'm going to have to try up here a bit. Yeah, mate, there ain't no way you'd ever open that bonnet and know that that's been replaced, is there?
No, we get a bit of paint on it in a minute.
Little bit of paint on there and let that dry, and this should be ready to start building up, mate, shouldn't it? So happy with how this one's turned out, and the last couple of little bits that we was waiting for have just arrived for it, so there's nothing holding us back on this one now. Job's a good one. As soon as I left last night, Chris actually got the bit of paintwork done on it. We both don't want to be in here while he's painting, but it was only that little bit anyway. But absolutely all back to factory. That's exactly how it looked before we even started. So you're quite happy with it, mate, aren't you? Let's have a little look up the top here. I know you're unmasking it anyway, but yeah, it looks perfect, that does. We're going to get that unmasked, and then what we're actually going to do is get it up off the jig, get the jig out of the way, and get it back on its wheels, I suppose. And then at least we can manoeuvre the car around. It is kind of like a elephant in the room on the jig. You just can't move it. You can move it on that, but it's very, very difficult. So let's get it unmasked and get it off the jig. So happy with the way this one is coming out. It is, I mean, it's at that stage now where we need to just strip this front panel back off and start fitting it up with rad pack, etc, etc. There was a little bit of a gap there in the time lapse where Chris had to run up quickly and get the rest of the stuff, expensive lot, from TPS there. And what that was, when I say expensive, I've just paid nearly £200 for a front bumper grille, Chris. But guess how much they want from on eBay?
Probably
210.
Really?
Yeah, and they're broken. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people think that they're mega expensive, but I think you would agree, guys, that chassis leg has come out absolutely perfect. I can't wait to drive this one. Only 2,000 miles on it.
It's really new, isn't it?
Definitely. Right, we need to actually just push this out for a minute and pause, and then we're straight back on it later. Yeah. So we'll leave it there for a moment. there is only so much you can time lapse, guys, and to be honest with you, I put the tripod right up high there and been aiming it down and caught as much as we could, but it is very, very tight in there, getting that aircon pipe back in there. And of course Chris is down in that corner getting his security box put back around the ECU, and you can see how he's working there. He's having to stick his fingers in the side there just to get a 10mm bolt done up. But we have moved along quite far with it. We've got the rad pack fitted. I've got those aircon pipes back in, bonnet catches plugged back in, aircon pipes on the condenser, on the compressor rather. It is all quite tight, but if you remember, on this car I actually had the aircon gas recovered by an aircon machine, so hopefully we can have that same gas put back in this one. We have noticed there's a couple of little tiny bits we'll have to call TPS on, like the bonnet secondary release here. I actually have to hold my finger on it because a couple of the tabs are broke off, but apart from that we are really getting there with it. It's pretty much Chris is going to build up this side, I'm going to build up this side. Got that new pipe fitted, got the rad plumbed up, just going to move on, get the bolt in the engine mount, header tank, etc, etc. All of that usual stuff that we've taken off we need to put back on, and let's crack straight on with it. So far so good, guys, but we have got to that point where I'm not going to video it, I'm not going to time lapse it. We've got enough time lapse there. We are at that normal situation. This is the bit we love, Chris, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Could take 10 minutes, could take 2 hours. Should be bang on.
Together fine, shouldn't
but it is the lining up.
Yeah.
The front panel might have to go up slightly, might have to go left slightly, but we've got the headlights sitting in there. And finally, I'm going to say this as well, definitely the most expensive we've ever spent, because we got the bumper from Eddie, but we have literally bought everything brand new. So lower grille, actual normal main grille, these two inserts here, would you mind lifting that up? One washer jet we had to buy. These here in particular, I ordered one, and Chris said, what one was it? That one. Chris said 22 plate, Rob, we've bought all them new grills, do we really want to be putting that on there for the sake of 40 odd quid? So we've actually gone with two brand new ones of those as well, so every single bit of that is brand new. And of course that will all, I'll let you know what it all comes to in the numbers, and it's all genuine from TPS. So we're going to get that bumper fitted and then start the process of lining this up. I have topped it up with water, and obviously we need to bleed that up. And also we did find a tiny little crack in the radiator last knockings, so you can see we have actually put a brand new rad in there as well. Anyway, let's get straight on with it. As usual, lot of messing around there, but we got there with it in the end. And I think you'd agree that car looks incredible. We always knew it was going to come out nice anyway, because it's such a late, lovely car. But just buying all those new trims for it, it just finished it off, didn't it? It just made it all absolutely look like new, exactly how it should. It does need a good clean now, because obviously it's been over a few days we've been filming this. But the colour match, I actually reckon the colour match looks all right. And then the more in the light you get, Chris in the background there says he thinks it does as well. The more in the light you get it, it just looks absolutely lovely. I'm going to bring this out now. We have got a power steering fault, obviously crash data, and I've had the aircon gas removed out of it as well. So I'm going to whip over, get the aircon gas put back in it, get them to plug it in on their, I forget what it's called now, their Volkswagen software, VAG software, and see if they can reset it. If not, I'm sure me and Chris had a play with our computer before. It took us a while, but we managed to do it. So, we did. So we'll probably have a go at it as well. Loads of stuff's going to need calibrating, like the ADAS. I know you've got this, I can't even think what that's called down there now. Radar you got down there in the front bumper. All of it's going to need calibrating, but I'm going to go over, get the aircon done. That's going to be one of the faults immediately removed. It's also got the traction control lights come up on a dash. So I'm just going to drive up and down the yard, even though it is quite hard, just see if we can clear that fault off as well. This is like deja vu, guys, but the last time we was here with these pipes on, we was actually having the gas sucked out of this on the back of the truck. And we've just come over and we're having the gas put straight back in the car. There it goes now. And it drives really, really nice. Really nice. We're doing the numbers in here today, guys, because it is too cold in the office. We haven't been in there for a couple of days and haven't got the heating on. Finally doing the numbers on that Audi. It's nice to see the end of it. It's nice to see that it's done. I'm just waiting literally for a guy to turn up who's just going to do a little bit of programming for me. And once he's done that, I'm going to use it for a little while. And of course, we'll be chucking it on Instagram for sale. So the purchase price on that Audi was £5,000. I went down to Birmingham and collected it, £100 in fuel. The airbag kit was very, very expensive at £1,392. But as you know, it needed a dash, steering wheel, 2 curtains, and all 4 seat belts as well. They wasn't all locked out, but of course they all needed changing because it's sod's law. You leave the back ones in, you plug it in and it comes up with a fault on them. So they've all been done. The bonnet hinges were £33.82. The wings were from Prasco at £181.56. The bonnet was from Prasco at £224.17. Headlight repair kit for the original passenger side headlight was £34.9p. The water hose, that was crazy really, because it only had that end broke off it, was £75.26. The wing brackets were £40.52. The bumper guides were £61.25. So that's like the panel that goes underneath the headlights. The main grille that sits in the front of the bumper was £234.13. These are all with the VAT, these prices. The lower grille was £55.98. Bumper spoiler, just a little tiny bit that goes on the corner, was £24.78. Washer jet, one of them was broken on the driver's side, £55.12p. The new ribbed belt, we got a proper Audi one. It has only done 2,000 miles, that one, £29.60. We got another grille here, that's left hand, I think, £60.34. Wheel bolts, £16.22. You're going to ask why we had to buy wheel bolts for it. Did you lose the locker? No, we got the locking wheel nut key. But Chris actually stole 4 wheel bolts out of that car when he was doing the Audi A6 because we didn't have a locking wheel nut key for it. So we had to buy 4 new wheel bolts. Grille right hand, £60.34. Toe and eye cover, £10.18. Wheel arch liner, £47.17. Bonnet catch, £12.03. Front panel, £186.48. Radiator, £91.99. This is the biggest list we've ever had on a car. Washer jet cover, £15.82. Bumper crash bar, £77. Headlight, got this used off of eBay, but it was the best deal I could find, and it was £200. I did ring the dealer and ask for a price on one of them headlights, and it was over £1,100, so saved a lot of money there. Engine mount, £54.19p, and that headlight did not come with any control units. We managed to use our main headlight control unit, but the LED one was actually broken and we had to buy a new one, and I got lucky, found one in Ireland on eBay using the part number for £55. Chassis leg we got from, I can't think the name of the company now, brilliant, brake Volkswagen VAGs in Essex, and that was £100. Oil filter and antifreeze was £101.35p. I know a lot of you are going to say, but it didn't need oil and a filter. It was only like, it's only done 2,000 miles, not even a year old yet, but you know, it's been sat around for quite a while, so we just did it. Paint shop, £600. Really good price that. He'd done the wings, the bonnet and the front bumper, and when it was in here, we weren't sure about it. But do you know what? Outside, I'm really happy with that. It's come out lovely. Sorry guys, Nero, that's the Volkswagen place, and a couple of the guys there watched the channel, and they did do us a bit of a discount, 100 quid. So that was them. Where was we? Yeah, £600 at the paint shop, and we're quite happy. We're going to leave it like that. Outside looks perfect. Windscreen, £225. Paint and materials, that was obviously what Chris used, £80. Aircon, I know they took our gas out and they refilled it, but to have that done from scratch would have been over 100 quid because it's got the new R123 gas in it. But he charged us 40 quid to take it out and then refill it again. The programming I was just talking about and the sundries, £100. So, this is interesting. We got a total of £9,675.40, which very nearly, Chris, that cost us the same amount to repair it as what we paid for it.
Yes.
So, yeah, £9,675. I was going through eBay while Chris was doing the numbers, and I asked him to add these on here to save, because obviously I can't use the eBay on my phone. So the cheapest one of these on eBay is 20,000 quid, and it's done 8,000 miles. But they do go right up to 29,000 quid with the same sort of miles. I think the one that was 29,000 quid had done 390 miles, and then they went up to like 1,500 and then 3,000. That car has done 2,900 miles, and we are gonna ask, I think that's for nothing. If that car was an auto, I would have actually kept that for a couple of years. £15,000, which is gonna give us a lovely pre-tax profit of £5,324.60. And I think at 15 grand, that car is an absolute steal. Yeah. That's a gift at that money, isn't it? Yeah. And we are definitely leaving enough in it for the next man. So guys, that is the end of today's video and the end of the series, finally, on the little 2022 Audi A1. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Drop your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think of the price of it, what we paid for it, how much we spent on it. I guess you probably could have done it a little bit cheaper, but you'd have just waited that much more longer. And we don't want them sitting around. We want them turned around and out that door to one of you guys. So don't forget, follow us on Instagram at Salvage Rebuilds. Guys, if you do reach out to me on there, please always include your telephone number. If you want to catch Chris sitting on the toilet, reading a farmer's magazine, out at a museum or a car show, you can follow him at Salvage Rebuilds Chris. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.